going to show you a neat little feature of the Baby Lock Rachel. So over here on my panel, next to my stitch width, there is this button right here. This is an automatic reverse function. So if I hit that, this symbol shows up on my screen. And then each time I'm sewing a regular straight stitch, or if I'm using just a regular like number 5 zigzag, it will automatically backstitch for me at the beginning and at the end. I do have to do one thing at the end to make sure that it works. So I'll try to do this while holding the camera. You're going to still line up with the edge of the 5/8 because we're making 5/8 inch seam samples. Let's see here. I'm going to want to make sure my needle is lined up right where I want it to be. I'm just going to use my needle down button, drop the presser foot, and then I'm using my foot controls to power the machine right now. I could also use my start stop button if I wanted to. I'm going to use my foot control. So I'm going to stitch forward. All I'm doing is my foot control, and notice how it reverses back on its own. And then I'm just going to guide the fabric through. I'm just using one hand right now because I'm holding the camera with the other one, but when I get to the other end, it will reverse on its own for the most part. It automatically knows how many reverse stitches you need, but the only thing I have to do at the end, so I get to the very end of where I want to. Okay, so I'm going to leave my needle down, and then I'm going to hit the reverse button one time. It goes ahead and reverse stitches about 3 stitches and then comes back to the end. So then you would just need to put your needle up, press your foot up, and you would be done with that seam. For the sample book, we'll have a lot of samples using a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So we're just going to go ahead and start out with 9 different sets here. You've got 3 by 6 inch rectangles, and so you'll need 2 of them per set. So you need 9 sets, and we'll start out by just making the 5/8 of an inch seam. So to line this up, you'll line up with the grid on the throat plate. The outside edge of the fabric is going to line up with the grid, and it's also labeled with 5/8. So you're just going to sew straight down again on 9 sets of this. Some of these you will leave at 5/8 and others you'll be trimming down and doing some other things with. But that is the size seam allowance that you need for each time, 5/8. Alright, so I've sewn on 9 different sets of 3 by 6 inch fabric, 2 pieces together on each set, and then I've clipped the threads at each end. That's going to be really important. So when you're graded on these seam samples, I will be looking to make sure that you trimmed the threads up on the end really closely. Okay, so you want to trim off any of that extra thread really nice and neat, close to the edge. Don't let any of that thread hang off. And so now these are all ready, and we'll have 9 different exercises to do different seam finishes to them.